Welcome to the Blue Dot Dispatch. Today is Sunday, March the 23rd. Welcome to Texas, where ignorance is a public health strategy. Jesus didn't die for your right to get the measles. Well, folks, here we are, living in a timeline where a Fort Worth megachurch is bragging about leading the state in measles vulnerability. Because nothing screams holy like celebrating a deadly, entirely preventable disease. Pastor Landon Schott of Mercy Culture Church took to Instagram last week to give a shout out to the affiliated Mercy Culture Preparatory School for being the least vaccinated school in Texas, a 14.3% vaccination rate for measles, mumps, and rubella. In a normal world, this would be cause for concern. In whatever dystopian hellscape we're living in, it's a goddamn achievement. It's like watching someone cheer about having the worst fire insurance in town. Except instead of losing a house, we're risking the lives of children. A deadly, preventable disease is now a culture war trophy. Let's be clear about something. Measles is no joke. It's one of the most contagious viruses on the planet. It kills kids. It can cause pneumonia, brain swelling, and lifelong disabilities. That's why doctors, scientists, and literally every sane person for the last half century has agreed that getting the MMR vaccine is a good idea. But Pastor Schott, nah, he thinks it's a freedom issue, not a public health issue. He says, quote, I just want to congratulate all of the family members of MC Prep that embrace freedom of health and they're not allowing government or science projects to affect how you live and lead your life. What in the actual fuck? This is not about freedom. Freedom is choosing what car to drive or what church to go to. Freedom is not giving your kids measles because you think science is a liberal conspiracy. Texas is literally in the middle of a measles outbreak. Here's the extra fun part. Texas is actively battling a measles outbreak. Nearly 160 cases across the state. 22 hospitalizations, and one child has already died. And yet, instead of urging vaccinations like any halfway responsible leader would, Schott and his congregation, are high-fiving each other for making it worse. And if you thought that this was just some rogue pastor spewing nonsense, think again. State Representative Nate Schatzline, a Republican who represents Fort Worth and just happens to be a pastor at Mercy Culture, is also celebrating. He said, quote, I've gotten word that my children's school has been ranked the #1 most unvaccinated school in Texas, and I'm upset that we haven't celebrated sooner. Jesus Christ. This is an elected official. Someone who is supposed to be looking out for the well-being of Texans is out here cheering on a public health crisis like it's the fucking Super Bowl. Anti-vax grift goes mainstream. If this all feels familiar, that's because it is. The anti-vax movement has been mainlining MAGA Kool-Aid for years. These people will twist just about anything into a political or religious battle. Science says vaccinate your kids? No thanks. I read a meme on Facebook. Doctors say we need herd immunity? Sounds like government overreach to me. And of course, we have the usual suspects fanning the flames. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., now the Secretary of Health and Human Services, because we are living in a nightmare, has spent years pushing the absolute lie that vaccines cause autism. He's the anti-vax messiah, and his followers, including the brain trust over at Mercy Culture, think they're fighting the system by rejecting life-saving medicine. Spoiler alert, they're not fighting the system. They're just making their kids sick. Vaccines work, period. The science is not up for debate on this. The MMR vaccine is safe. The MMR vaccine is effective. The MMR vaccine does not cause autism. We had measles under control. Before the anti-vax movement gained steam, the U.S. saw fewer than 100 cases per year nationwide. Now, thanks to people like Schott and Schatzline, we're seeing outbreaks again. This is not religious persecution. This is not about freedom. This is just willful ignorance with deadly consequences. The bottom line, this shit just isn't funny anymore. Look, I can laugh at some of the dumb stuff that comes out of the right-wing fever swamp, but this isn't funny anymore. A child in Texas is already dead because of this nonsense. Mercy Culture Prep has the lowest vaccination rate in Texas, and instead of fixing that, they're bragging about it. Texas Republicans are cheering them on and celebrating them as heroes. And when this entirely preventable outbreak gets worse, because it will, these same people will blame everyone but themselves. Let's be clear, this isn't God's plan. It's just fucking stupidity. And on that note, if you're in Texas and still believe in basic fucking science, please get your kids vaccinated. Because clearly, we can't count on these idiots to do the right thing. Until next time, keep fighting the good fight. I'm Micky Shearon with the Blue Dot Dispatch.